All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into In Nomine Babalon.
In Nomine Babalon, 156 adorations to the Scarlet Goddess,
Yeah, that's the one.
with that intense cover,
Oh, yeah. Very striking.
a chalice
Yeah.
six-pointed star,
And that title
in bold red font.
definitely sets the mood.
It does, doesn't it? And we're looking at, well, you sent us excerpts from a limited edition printing. So we're
Yeah.
going to be kind of cracking the code of these adorations, seeing what they tell us about this Scarlet Goddess, Babylon.
Should be interesting.
This is going to be, I think, a wild ride.
I think so, too.
And it starts with a mystery right off the bat.
Mystery. How so?
Well, the book itself, published in 2011 by Dark Star Press,
Right, yeah.
the author is anonymous.
Wow.
Yeah, totally anonymous. Identified only by a sigil,
Which is,
an upside-down triangle with a dot in the center.
oh, that's very, very cryptic.
So cryptic, right?
Like they're saying, don't pay attention to me.
Yeah, focus on Babylon, not the messenger.
Right, exactly. And speaking of Babylon, they don't waste any time. The book kicks off with an excerpt from The Thunder Perfect Mind, which, side note, is a whole other mystical rabbit hole.
Oh, for sure. Tons of layers there.
But in this context, I feel like it sets the stage for Babylon.
It's crucial, I think, because the language is so powerful and introduces her right from the beginning as this incredibly paradoxical figure.
Yeah, give us an example.
Well, it says she's honored and scorned, virgin and whore, wife and mother, destroyer and creator.
So many contradictions.
It's like, don't even try to put her in a box.
It defies categorization.
Absolutely.
Like she embodies both sides of every coin, right?
Yeah.
Not bound by our human limitations or societal norms.
Exactly. That's it.
Transcendent.
You remind me of some of those ancient goddess figures like Isis or Ishtar.
Yeah.
Powerful feminine energy tied to nature, creation.
But with Babylon, there's that added layer of like rebellion.
Challenging the status quo.
Okay, so we've got mystery, we've got paradox.
Where do we go from there?
Well, let's get to the heart of the book, the 156 adorations.
Each one unique, right?
Yeah, each one is like a short verse, almost like a prayer or a love poem to a different aspect of Babylon.
And they use some really intense imagery.
Vivid imagery, symbolism.
Sensual language, too.
And you can tell, obviously the author was very deliberate, very passionate about these verses.
Yes, for sure.
And as we go through them,
What do you notice?
certain themes keep popping up.
What?
Well, the duality we saw in the Thunder Perfect Mind, that's everywhere.
Right.
It's not just praising her beauty, her power. There's this constant tension between reverence and something a bit dangerous.
I know what you mean.
Like a raw energy.
Like in Adoration I, it starts with, "To the Lady of Life I sing this praise."
Standard devotion.
But then it goes on to say, "I raise up the cup and adore Babylon."
And that raising of the cup, we see that throughout the book, right?
Yeah.
So it's clearly tied to something more than just a nice toast.
More like a ritual.
Right. Desire, ecstasy, maybe even transgression.
That's what I find so compelling.
It's like true devotion to Babylon means embracing all of her.
Even the parts that make people uncomfortable,
Yeah, those shadow parts of ourselves. You know, the parts we try to hide or deny.
like in Adoration 7th.
What does that one say?
"Thou virgin so pure, it is thee I adore. Thou art 7 in 1 and 1 in 4.
So the pure virgin image right alongside the number 7, which has all those esoteric meanings.
Yeah, often tied to occult knowledge,
Playing with our expectations.
making us confront those binary ways of thinking,
Good versus bad.
pure versus impure.
And speaking of binaries, Adoration the 8th.
What about it?
O lady who closes the mouth of the beast, the might of the lion subdued by the least, overpowered by love and not coercion.
So much to unpack there.
I know, right? So we have the beast, right? Usually representing our primal instincts, our wild side, being subdued not by force, but by love.
That speaks to a different kind of power,
Not domineering.
but harmonizing,
Right.
bringing the wild and tame together,
And notice the number 7 pops up again.
almost like a secret code.
It makes you want to dig deeper.
Oh, yeah.
And all of this, the duality, the imagery of the beast, it seems to point toward this path of spiritual transformation.
A transformation through Babylon.
Right. It's not just about worshiping a deity. It's about personal transformation, potentially a radical one.
Look at Adoration XXV, exposing the old lies told by the priest. She's promulgating the age of the beast, the great lion serpent she's riding upon,
Whoa, okay.
shedding those restrictive beliefs, embracing a new way of being.
So we've got duality, transformation, but there's another big theme that can't be ignored. Babylon's cosmic significance.
Yeah, she's not just some minor goddess hanging out in the background.
In so many adorations, she's linked to the cosmos, to stars, planets, natural elements.
Like in Adoration the Third,
Which says,
I wish to be lost in your mysteries deep. Within your embrace, I fall fast asleep. Your great black sea I am floating upon.
beautiful imagery.
And then there's Adoration IX. As the moon reflects the light of the sun, we also reflect the light of the One, as each of our stars forever shines on.
It's like she's the source of all creation.
Embodiment of natural law itself.
It gives me chills.
Maybe too.
Makes me think of those moments when you feel connected to something bigger than yourself.
That sense of belonging.
Yeah, like you're part of something vast, ancient.
Maybe that's part of her appeal.
That sense of belonging to something truly cosmic.
It's definitely powerful.
And it's not just about intellectual understanding either.
What do you mean?
Many of these adorations express, like, a deep, overwhelming love for Babylon.
And they use some very evocative language.
Erotic imagery, sensual language.
You convey that love?
Yeah, like in Adoration LI. I feel so much love that it causes me pain. The organic rapture as my heart is singed. Or Adoration L the Eighth. Arouse the splendor and put on the wings, for to love her surpasses all things, as the priestess chants her incantation.
Not just a heady spiritual love, right?
It's visceral, embodied,
Challenges the idea that spirituality has to be detached.
purely intellectual.
These adorations say, no, your body, your desires, your ecstasy, those are all pathways to knowing the divine.
That makes me wonder, have you ever felt that kind of intense, embodied spirituality? Or do you think it's even possible?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
About embodied spirituality. I think
Mhm.
that's a key part of what In Nomine Babalon is getting at.
Okay.
It's not just about worshiping a distant deity,
Right.
but about, like, forging this deeply personal connection.
Almost intimate, you could say.
Yeah, intimate.
And it seems like that connection is achieved through this idea of gnosis that we talked about before.
Exactly.
Direct experience.
Gnosis is about direct knowledge of the divine.
Unmediated.
Yeah, unmediated by dogma, institutions, anything like that.
So it's about finding your own truth.
Through personal experience.
Exploration.
We see this a lot in the adorations, actually.
You mean an example?
Well, like in Adoration XXVI. Anoint me with oil of galangal and myrrh, and oil of olives kept virgin and pure, with a fiery spirit of cinnamon. Or Adoration XXVI. Mystery of mystery, thou goddess divine. Anoint me with blood as I kneel at your shrine. Bless me with the weapon of Avalon.
Sensory overload.
It's all about ritual sensory experience.
Tapping into something primal.
Visceral.
Like the author saying, forget those stuffy rituals, those dusty doctrines. This is about awakening your senses.
Breaking free from the mundane.
And directly encountering the divine.
And this awakening, it seems to go hand in hand with rejecting conventional morality.
Yeah, that's another major theme, right?
A big one.
It's like the author saying, screw the rule book.
Yeah.
So many adorations that challenge traditional ideas of good and evil.
Sin and virtue.
Like Adoration LAI.
What's that one say?
I make pure the temple and clear out the fog, for God will not come to live in a dog, as I purge myself from the base and common. Or Adoration LX. Live life without shame, live life without guilt, for there is no law beyond do what thou wilt.
Such a bold statement.
It's a call to radical self-acceptance.
Agreed.
And that phrase, do what thou wilt.
That's central to Thelema.
Oh yeah, Aleister Crowley's whole system.
Early 20th century occultist. And he identified Babylon as a key figure in his system.
Representing.
The divine feminine principle.
Okay.
And the liberation of the individual.
So even though the author is anonymous, there's definitely a connection to Crowley's teachings.
It's there, yeah.
But you're saying it's not a strict, dogmatic approach to Thelema.
No. It's more like a personal exploration of the themes and energies associated with Babylon.
Okay.
It's like a love letter to the Scarlet Goddess.
Infused with Thelemic ideas, but also going beyond them.
Yeah, definitely expanding on them.
So we've got mystery, duality, transformation, cosmic significance, a rejection of conventional morality.
Don't forget Thelema.
And Thelema, wow, it's a lot to take in.
It is.
But it all circles back to that central question.
Which is?
What is it about Babylon that draws people in?
That's a complex question.
I know, right? No easy answer.
For some, it might be the allure of the forbidden.
Okay.
The excitement of challenging societal norms.
She is often depicted as the Scarlet Woman.
Right.
A figure who embodies female sexuality and power.
Defying patriarchal control.
And let's be honest, there's definitely an element of danger, transgression associated with her.
Oh, absolutely.
She's not a deity for the faint of heart.
No, she's not.
But for others, maybe the appeal lies in the potential for personal empowerment.
Spiritual liberation.
Breaking free from those limiting beliefs.
Embracing our true selves, shadows and all.
And for some, it could be a combination of all of those things.
Yeah, probably.
Mystery, the power, the challenge to the status quo.
It's potent.
Speaking of potent, the tone of these adorations is really something else.
So.
There's this deep reverence.
Yeah.
But also like a passionate, almost erotic intensity.
Definitely not your typical prayer book.
Right. It's raw, unapologetic,
Pushing boundaries.
challenging our comfort zones.
And it all comes back to that idea of confronting the shadow self. What parts of ourselves do we try to hide?
Repress. Deny. Babylon seems to be saying, bring it all to the table.
The light and the dark.
The sacred and the profane.
That's where true wholeness lies.
That's a powerful message.
It really is.
It makes you think about those areas in your own life where you might be holding back.
Playing it safe.
Conforming to expectations.
That don't really serve you.
Exactly. And we talked about gnosis earlier.
Direct knowledge of the divine.
But is that even possible?
Can you really know a deity in that way?
That's a big question.
It is.
And ultimately a personal one.
Each individual has to find their own way to connect.
If they choose to do so.
But these adorations seem to suggest that such a connection is possible.
Even transformative.
It's like the author is sharing their own personal experience of encountering Babylon.
Inviting us to embark on our own journey.
Of discovery.
Exactly. And whether or not that journey resonates with the reader.
Yeah, it's up to them.
But one thing's for sure. In Nomine Babalon is not a passive read.
It demands engagement.
It sparks questions.
And it invites us to confront our own beliefs.
About spirituality.
The divine.
Ourselves.
It's been a wild ride so far.
It has.
And I can't wait to see where it takes us next.
Me too. You know, as we've been going through these adorations, I keep coming back to this idea of Babylon as like a disruptor.
A disruptor.
Yeah. She challenges so many traditional religious notions.
It's true.
It's almost like she's saying, wake up. Question everything. Don't just blindly accept what you've been told.
There's definitely that current of rebellion running through the whole text.
Yeah, and it's not just about worshiping a goddess.
Right.
It's about forging your own spiritual path, even if it leads you away from the mainstream.
Exactly.
Which reminds me of that Crowley quote, "The only sin is restriction."
Oh, yeah. I like that one.
It's like the author of In Nomine Babalon really took that to heart and created this whole book as a testament to, like, radical freedom.
And self-discovery, pushing boundaries, shattering those beliefs that keep us small and afraid.
And that can be scary, right?
Oh, absolutely.
To step outside your comfort zone, to embrace the unknown.
It's not always pretty or comfortable.
Right.
But maybe that's the point.
Maybe true growth and transformation happen when we're willing to face those shadows within ourselves.
The parts we usually try to hide.
Exactly.
And I think that's what these adorations are ultimately pointing towards, that path of radical self-acceptance and liberation.
Saying yes to all of it.
All of it.
Light and dark.
Sacred and profane.
Because that's where true wholeness lies.
It is.
So what does all this mean for us?
For us.
Yeah, the readers, the listeners, the people encountering these ideas for the first time. What can we take away from this deep dive?
Well, I think it's a good reminder that spirituality isn't one size fits all. There are so many paths to the divine, and everyone has to find what resonates with them.
Find their own way.
Exactly. And sometimes that path might lead us to some unexpected places.
Places that challenge our assumptions.
Make us confront those darker aspects of ourselves that we usually try to avoid.
It's definitely not your typical Sunday school lesson.
Nope.
But I think that's what makes it so compelling.
I agree.
It forces us to think critically, to question our beliefs, and to be more honest with ourselves about what we truly desire.
And who we truly are.
Yes, exactly.
It's about awakening to the fullness of our being.
Human and divine.
And that's a powerful message, no matter what your background is.
So to everyone listening, I really encourage you to explore In Nomine Babalon for yourselves.
See what speaks to you.
See what resonates.
What challenges you.
What insights you might uncover about your own spiritual path.
You might even find yourself drawn to that fiery energy of the Scarlet Goddess herself.
This deep dive has definitely sparked a lot of questions for me. It's a good reminder that the journey of self-discovery is ongoing.
Always more to learn, more to explore, more to embrace.
Well said.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into In Nomine Babalon.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep seeking.
And we'll see you on the next deep dive.